Zartel was a fascinating character. We'll talk about him a little more when we're talking about Hagrizim and Harival, maybe some other events. He was an archaeologist who grew up in the kibbutz. He was never Orthodox, but he did have a certain connection with tradition and certainly with Tanakh. And as an archaeologist, most of the field in academia is what we'd call leaning towards minimalists. There are those who are centralists, but they're mainly minimalists who try to push down and say that nothing is true unless proven, nothing is historically accurate unless proven through archaeology. And that's a problem, okay? On the other hand, we have those who are maximalists who say everything is Tanakh, no matter what it is. That's truth is that can also be a problem. Not everything we pull out of the ground is Tanakh. It's just not, okay? As much as I love and I get excited when things do relate to the Tanakh, not everything we pull out of the ground is Tanakh. And as such, we need to have a certain balance and a certain anava, also a certain humility, to be able to understand, first of all, we don't understand everything. And second of all, we're not going to find proof one way or another. We can find evidence. And for me, I don't actually need proof. We'll talk about that in another point. But for here, the main point is it can help us to perhaps understand and visualize and see things from a new angle. Where I'm standing right now is Adam Zartal's footprint. Okay, not literally, but this is a very strange site. It's a site that he thinks is Gilgal. And he found a number of these Gilgals, a number of these sites throughout this area of the Jordan Valley. We'll talk about why perhaps there would be a number of Gilgals in the next video. But in the meantime, what did he find here? Could it have anything to do with Gilgal? And I'll start with saying, I don't know for sure that I'm convinced. But either way, it is certainly interesting. So we'll check it out. Zartal, though he grew up in the kibbutz movement and was certainly not Orthodox, he did see the Tanakh and the stories of the Tanakh, the events of the Tanakh, as being historically accurate, including coming out of Egypt and entering the land of Israel. He walked the land, specifically in the land of Yehuda and Shomron, looking for evidence, looking for clues, and looking for whatever he would find on the surface itself. Here he found something fascinating. In fact, he found a number of examples of this. Looking from above, we can see that this is, in essence, an encampment in the shape of a footprint. It has an area that was apparently used for sacrifices, an area that was perhaps set aside from all the rest, and an area for walking and doing a circuit around, perhaps like a Gilgal, a circle around it. And Adam Zartal was convinced that this was an encampment of Gilgal. And perhaps there were a number of encampments of Gilgal throughout this region. Why in the shape of a footprint? Well, actually, there are a bunch of psukim that actually relate to the footprint of Hashem, the feet of Hashem, the land or the Mikdash or the holy place, the Mishkan, being like the footrest of Hashem. In fact, even Aliyah L'Regel itself perhaps can be understood, according to Zartal, is quite literally Aliyah L'Regel, to the footprint. I think it's kind of funny, but that's his way of understanding it. Either way, he does date this to the time period of Am Yisrael entering the land. There are a bunch of them around this specific area, an area that the Tanakh does call Gilgal. Again, we'll talk about that a little more in the next video. Could he be wrong? Sure. But if he is wrong, what is it? Not so clear. Either way, it's a question mark. It's an interesting place, and perhaps, maybe, it relates to the Gilgal as well. Is it Gilgal or not? I don't know. I put the evidence in front of you. I'd love to hear what you think. Maybe let me know. Write it in the notes. Write it in the group. Share what you think. Just be respectful. It's okay to have different opinions. It's okay for Adam Zartal to have different opinions, certainly with his background. Let me know what you think. You don't have to agree. You don't have to agree. I'm not even sure that I agree. But it is a fascinating place, and I'd love to hear your thoughts.